Hello, hello, my darlings. Welcome to another amazing week and episode of the Becoming Abundant podcast with your favorite adorable host, Anna Maria Jinga. I'm really happy to speak some life into you this week. I got to wake up this morning with the idea just screaming in my head. They need to speak, they need you to speak more life into them. And I was like, okay. So I created a post. And then I had another nudge saying, it's not enough, you need more. They need to hear you. So here I am, ready to speak some life into you. Because sometimes we're in this transitional phase, we're in these spaces where life just feels uneasy or unsettled. And it feels like God is taking just a little longer to deliver you from it. The problem is not that God is not delivering you from it. The problem is in the lack of patience. And sometimes, myself included, many times I find myself there where I dig up the seed and I'm looking at the seed and I'm like, "Are you ready? Am I planting something wrong here? Am I not watering you enough? What is going on?" But the thing is, it's not what's going on. It's our lack of patience. Sometimes we find ourselves in spaces where we want something to happen so fast, but we don't see that the dots are not yet connected fully. I found something out this morning after I woke up. Um, and I was talking to my husband that we would have not received the gift that is being unfolded as we speak into our lives if we didn't go through the whole past 5 years. Honestly, hand on heart, I can tell you now that we might not have even met God the way we know Him now if it wasn't for the struggle of these past 5 years. If it wasn't for Him losing His job, if it wasn't for us getting completely torn apart as a family and as a marriage, only to be put back together so perfectly, so simply, and so effortlessly that nothing and no one could have ever done it but God. And while we were in it, while we were buying our RV almost 4 years ago, while he was having his last Zoom call with the former company, and feeling completely betrayed and completely with the rug being pulled from under him completely. If it wasn't for me feeling absolutely in the darkest moments of my life, literally meeting demons in my sleep, and not just in my sleep, if it wasn't for completely losing lots of friends that we thought were friends and they would be forever in our life, and not losing them to death, but losing them to the lies and the stories that they were being fed, even losing some friends to death because their their journey was to awaken some other people to the reality and the truth of certain things. If it wasn't for all of that darkness, if it wasn't for all of that struggle, we wouldn't have met God. We wouldn't have gotten to the place where we chose to heal our marriage. We wouldn't have gotten to the place of choosing to homeschool our son and completely remove him from an environment that would have fed on him and not fed him, if that makes sense. We would have never chosen to travel, to let go of the home comfort and find comfort in the unknown. I would have never become such an amazing coach and trainer that I am right now. I would have never even opened a business the way I have right now. I would have never stopped working for others and actually their dreams and their goals and actually shifted into listening to God and His path and mission for me and for us as a family. I would have never thought that I would even create a podcast where I get to speak about God and growth and speak about how the definition of who I am has nothing to do with how people see me outside of me, but it has everything to do with how God sees me and how God created me. We would have never gotten to a place where my husband has his own absolutely thriving business. I can tell you for a fact, 5 years ago, he would have never thought to even open a business, not have the amount of work and passion and experience and impact that he gets to have now. And with all of these, looking back today, this morning, we were talking in my office, in my home office, and we were looking back how well all of the dots connected. Each one of them. The loss of the job connected to the buying of the RV. The buying of the RV connected to us realizing how many people we need to say no to. How many hard conversations we need to have in order to gain our freedom, our sovereignty, our our groundedness. If we would have not had those conversations, we would have not left Canada to travel, to see what's out there. If we would have not done that, we would have not been able to realize that we were not the only crazy, quote unquote, crazy ones out there, but we are part of a massive wave of awakening souls and personalities that are ready to bring the kingdom of heaven down on earth. If we would have not realized that, we would have not known our voices matter 10 times more than we ever thought they would have the power to matter. If we would have not done that, we would have not met the people that have healed our hearts and our minds and our spirits. We would have not given our lives back to Jesus, completely surrendering our life and our missions to following His path. If we would have not followed His path, we wouldn't be in the place we are right now, speaking to hundreds and thousands of people worldwide every day, speaking life back into people, reminding everyone everywhere that has an ear to listen and has eyes to see. We are here to remind you that freedom is a choice you make. And you actually have the freedom to make it happen. You have the freedom to bring that choice back into your hands and say the yes that you've been craving so long to say, or better yet, the no that will close a door that has been draining you. Imagine saying the no that's so hard to say, but that no will open up a whole new chapter for you. Because the moment you close that door with your no, turning your back on it, you will be able to see the full spectrum of potentiality that's out there for you. You would be able to open the business, to start the relationship, to start the book, to take your kids out of school or put your kids into a proper school that aligns with them. You would be able to say yes to God and no to worldly things that are draining you. You would be able to say yes to your health and no to things that are killing you. You would be able to say no to the doctor and yes to the food. You would be able to say no to the friend, the false prophet, and yes to a community that speaks life again into you. You would be able to see how much you got stuck within your own tracks and say no to the stuckness and yes to the movement. You would be able to say yes to yourself, your true self that God wants you to experience. God doesn't want you to stay stuck. Stuck is biting out of an apple that would just tell you to be afraid. Stuck is just taking a step slower that will make you fall. Stuck is just a matter of telling yourself a story that is lying to you about who you truly are. But then we have abundance. And abundance lies completely in freedom. Abundance lies completely in your faith that you are made for more. That you, my darling, are made to impact the church where you're at, the community where you're at, the kids that you're leading, the family that you're raising. You, my darling, you are stronger than you think you are because you were told a lie that you're not strong, that people will come help you when sometimes they're not. The right people will come to help you, but the wrong ones, no matter how much you cry to them, they will not see you or hear you. And then you're going to believe that people are not there for you, when in fact, the wrong people are not there for you. It's all a matter of story. It's all a matter of faith. It's all a matter of trust. So, my darlings, what do you trust in? What do you want to have faith in? What are you ready in your heart, outside of any filters, outside of any limitations? What are you actually ready to say yes to? And what are you ready to say no to? If you're afraid, it just means you don't have enough information. If you're doubtful, it just means that someone somewhere told you that it's not possible to imagine the impossible coming to life. But I can tell you for a fact that the past 5 years that I have lived with my husband by my side and with our son have been the most impossible days and impossible ways becoming possible. Because this morning when we were driving from picking up a nice little cake from Crumble and a nice little London fog and a coffee and some donuts, driving home on a random Wednesday late morning, I told my husband, we made this freedom happen. He smiled at me and said, I actually love doing this. We get to do all of it. We get to make the money. We get to bring the impact. We got to speak God's word and God's wisdom every chance we get. We get to live fully because we are fully alive. And that's the thing. We got to make all of this happen because of our choices. So whenever you think you don't have a choice, not making a choice is still a choice. If you're not experiencing freedom yet the way you wish it, it's all a matter of choice. Maybe you're afraid and you need someone in your corner. I'm that someone. I'm here for you. Find better people that are around you that can speak life back into you. I was listening earlier today to a conversation my husband was having with his parents, and they were sharing their stories upon life with us. And I realized if you're not speaking life into someone, you're just speaking death. And I do not sign up for that. So the people that we allow in our lives are basically people that speak life, hope, faith back into us. And whenever a conversation gets to the point where there is a prediction or a prophecy that doesn't speak life into us, I end that conversation. And that's what we did. With love, with complete open heart, we ended beautifully the conversation that didn't speak life into us, because my family matters first. And the way God speaks into us is what's important. Anything else is not. So, my darlings, I invite you to think of this for the next, let's say, week. What are some boundaries that you need to put up with others and yourself? 2, what is something that you need to say no to? 3, what is something that you need to say yes to? And 4, what does freedom look, feel, taste, sound, smell like to you? I'll leave you with these. I'm really excited to see your messages, to see the experiences that you get to have after listening to this. What I want to call speaking life back into you. And actually, before I let you go, I listened to if you guys watched the show The Chosen, it's in one of the episodes there, where Jesus speaks into life into his apostles, telling them, hey, I get to split you guys 2 by 2 so that you can spread the good news that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And one of the apostles says, I don't feel any different. How are we now appointed to do this? And Jesus says, I don't need you to feel any different to do great things. Sit with that for a moment. I don't need you to feel different to do great things, because it's not just in the feeling different when you choose to do something different. It's first comes the action, first comes the choice, and then comes the feeling. So I hope this helps answer the questions that you have. And until next week, my loves, I wish you a fantastic, marvelous, exciting week ahead. And remember, my loves, to stay salty and bright. Bye now.